Hi. Hi, my name is Christine. You can call me Kristen. So can you tell me your name?
플레이 이코노미.
Play economy. Are you sure? Okay. I heard your name is Honey, right?
플레이 이코노미.
Play economy. Okay, so you're play economy. All right. It's very nice to meet you. And today we're going to read a Play Economy Times article and discuss it in English. Yes, you're holding it up. I can see that. So we're going to read that article. Are you ready to begin?
로.
No? Well, we have to get ready because you're going to get started now. Okay? Okay. So this is the article. And before we read it, let's take a look at the title first. Kospi sets new record on first trading day of the year. Now, what year are we in? 2020?
6.
That's right. That's right. Today is January 14th, 2026. So the new year just started 14 days ago, right? If you look at the calendar, this is today, the 14th. And this was the first day of the new year. Do you know why 1 is written in red?
Because it is a special day.
It's a special day. Yes, it was a public holiday. Right, good. A public holiday means the schools are closed, your parents don't go to work, and many shops are closed that day. So it's basically a day of rest. Now, what about the second day of January? Was it a holiday too?
Nothing.
No, it was a regular working day. So going back to the title, it says the first trading day of the year, not the first day, but the first trading day. Now that means the day when people started buying and selling stocks. So it's talking about not January 1st, but January 2nd. So on January 2nd, Kospi sets new record. And do you know what Kospi is? Have you heard of Kospi? No. Okay. We'll discuss Kospi in a minute. But setting a new record, sets a new record means that it's higher and it's better than ever before. So just by looking at the title, you can guess that this article is going to be talking about Kospi. And do you think it's a happy article or a sad article? Sad
Bad.
article? Sad? Okay, so Kospi sets a new record means that it's higher and it's better than before. So maybe it's a happy article. It's bigger and better and stronger than before. It's at a new record. Okay, so I'm going to read the article out loud so you can follow along with your eyes, okay? Okay. On the first trading day of 2026, the Kospi reached an all-time high. The index closed at 4,309.63, up 2.27% from the previous session. This marks the first record high on a New Year's opening day since the Kospi was launched in 1983. Samsung Electronics rose 7.17% to 128,501, while SK Hynix gained 3.99% to 670,001, lifting the index. Market analysts say the rally may not be a short-term event. They expect semiconductor prices to stay strong in the first half, driven by AI data center investment. However, some warn that volatility could increase if global big tech slows AI spending or if the pace of semiconductor price gains eases. Sounds a bit difficult, doesn't it? No? Yeah. It's okay. Let's break it down together. Now imagine Team Korea in soccer. Or do you know who this is?
No.
No? Do you know IVE, girl group IVE? IVE?
I don't.
Okay, so Team Korea is a team of the best soccer players. Like there's Son Heung-min, there's Lee Min-jae, and there's also Lee Kang-in. And IVE, the girl group IVE, is a team of talented members like Chang Won-young and An Yu-jin and Lee Seo and so forth. Now, like the national soccer team and girl group IVE, Kospi is like a scoreboard of a team of top companies in Korea. There are more than 800 companies in Kospi, so it's a really, really big team. And these here are just a few of the 800 plus members. I'm sorry, can you recognize any of the companies here? Do you know any of the companies' logos here?
I know this and this and this.
Can you tell me their names?
I know Samsung and I know Samsung Blue Locksp and
Are a lot,
I
Julie.
know the SK High and X.
You know SK Harpies. Wow, okay, that's impressive. And they're all very big companies, right? So this is a scoreboard that shows the scores of individual players in Team Cosby. Now, can you see which company is number one?
Samsung Electronics. Yeah.
That's right, Samsung Electronics. Now, do you know who the most popular member in IVE is? IVE Girl Group? It's Chang Won-young. Chang Won-young is the most popular these days. And Samsung in Kospi is like Son Heung-min in Team Korea, like the best member, or Chang Won-young, the most popular in IVE. And number two, and who's do you, which can you tell me which company is number two in Kospi?
SK High X.
That's right. Good job, SK Hynix. So this SK Hynix is considered the second best player in Kospi. Um, but so why is Samsung number one and SK Hynix number two? What makes these companies number one and number two in Kospi? So for Son Heung-min, he's number one because he scores the most goals in soccer matches. And as for Chang Won-young, she has the most fans and appears on TV the most. So that's why she's considered number one, the top member for IVE. So what about Samsung? Samsung is the most valuable company in Korea because of its stocks. Do you know have you heard of stocks or 주식 in Korean?
Yes.
You have. Wow, impressive. So a stock or 주식 in Korean is basically a small piece of a company. And if you buy a Samsung stock, you own a tiny little piece here of Samsung, and you become a Samsung shareholder. Now let's see how much one piece or one stock of Samsung is. You can see the price column here, right? This is the
Yes.
stock price, right? So the price you need to pay to get one piece or one stock of Samsung. And the stock price is here, it's 137,601. Now, do you see how much SK Hynix stock is? It's right here. It's 738,001. So can you tell me which is more expensive, Samsung or SK Hynix stock?
S.
SK Hynix stock. So SK Hynix is more expensive, but fun. Samsung is ranked number one in Kospi, right? But the stock price of SK Hynix is a lot higher. It's more expensive. So how is Samsung number one rather than SK Hynix? So imagine Samsung is a giant pizza, and one stock is just one slice of pizza. The stock price is the price of that one slice. And if you buy the whole pizza, you want to buy all the slices to own this entire Samsung pizza, then you have to add up all the slices. You have to add slice one and slice two, slice three, and all the slices to maybe slice 10 million. So the total price is super expensive. It's very expensive. And we call this total price market capitalization or 시가총액 in Korean. But market capitalization, it's just really long to say, right? So you can just say market cap. Do you want to repeat after me? Market cap.
Market cap.
Right, good. That's 시가총액. And SK Hynix pizza, as you can see, is smaller or bigger than Samsung pizza. This is SK Hynix pizza, and this is Samsung pizza. And the size of SK Hynix is smaller, right? But one slice here is bigger than Samsung's pizza. So one slice, which is one stock, is, if you go back to the price, is 738,000 won for Hynix. And one slice of Samsung pizza, if you look at the price, is 137,600 won. So a slice of Samsung pizza is a lot smaller, but the entire market cap is a lot larger than SK Hynix. Now you can look at the scoreboard here. If you look at the scoreboard, you can see the market cap or the size of the whole pizza pie right here. And you can see that Samsung's market cap is 608, around 608 billion US dollars. And SK Hynix pizza or the market cap is 350 billion US dollars. So which is the largest?
Is.
Samsung is larger than SK Hynix. And in fact, Samsung's market cap is larger than any other companies in Kospi. And that's why it's the number one company in Kospi. So now let's get back to the article. On the first trading day of 2026, we found out it was the January 2nd, right? On January 2nd, the Kospi reached an all-time high. It reached the highest point ever. The index closed at 4,309.63, up 2.27% from the previous session. Now, the previous session in this case means the last trading day of 2025 last year, and that was December 30th. On December 30th, Kospi was 4,214.17, and January 2nd, Kospi was 4,309.63, which is 2.2% higher than December 30th. Now, when you say up 2.27%, what that means is, let's say there's a jar with 100 cookies in it. Now you can find somehow you find two more cookies and put those two cookies in the cookie jar. So how many cookies do you have now?
102.
That's right, 102 cookies. The number of cookies in the jar has gone up by 2%. Now, the 2.27% mentioned in the article is just a little bit bigger than 2%. But when you say 2%, does it feel big or does it feel small? It feels small. It feels small. But if you imagine, if the cookie jar is the size of your school, if the cookie jar is the size of your apartment, then 2% can be a lot of cookies, right? Can be
Yeah.
a lot of cookies. So because Kospi represents more than 800 plus companies in Korea, a 2.27% jump can make a big difference. Okay. So back to the article. And this marks the first record high on a New Year's opening day since the Kospi was launched in 1983. So this is the new record that the title was talking about. Kospi was first launched in 1983, about 40 years ago, and its score has never been this high before. Um, the score was not as high before, but now it's now the highest. So how did Kospi now beat the record? Now, one second. The second part, Samsung Electronics rose 7.17% to 128,501, while SK Hynix gained 3.99% to 670,001, lifting the index. This means Samsung and SK Hynix stock prices went up. And how much did they go up? For Samsung, it went up 7.17%, and for SK Hynix, it went 3.99%. Does does that feel like a lot? No, right? But let's go back to the cookie jar. Let's think about that cookie jar again. If the cookie jar, let's see, the cookie jar is the size of your school or the size of your apartment, 7% can be very, very big, and 3% also can be a very big number. And because Samsung and SK Hynix are very, very big companies, rising 7% or even 3%, that can be a super big jump. Now, this is the important part. The article says Samsung and SK Hynix are lifting the index. Do you know what lifting? Lift means to carry something up like this. You lift something or you lift something up.
This
Do you
is
know what, right?
so. This is strange.
Huh? The
Let
strange?
know something. Hmm?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Something is up in here.
Something is up in here, right? It's lifting. That's right.
It like a box is in here and I can't see.
You can see.
Mm.
Okay. That's strange.
Uh,
We'll figure that out later. Okay. So do you know what tug of war game is? 줄다리기? Right. War is 줄다리기. And if you think, so now I said earlier that Samsung and SK Hynix are the biggest and strongest players of Team Kospi, right? So when Team Kospi is on a 줄다리기 match with other indexes, if the strongest players pull the rope really, really hard, then what happens? Then the rope comes your way, right? And your team wins. Kospi can win. So because two top player scores went up, Samsung Electronics went up 7.17% and SK Hynix went up 3.99%. The whole Kospi score went up with them. So Samsung and SK Hynix, they lifted the index and they carried the team to the new record. That's what this is saying. Now, let's think about why the stock prices went up for Samsung and SK Hynix. Do you know what company Samsung is? Do you know what they make? You can see here they make
it
refrigerators. Hmm? Oh, right. Yes, smartphones. That's right. They make all the home appliance too. And they also make semiconductors. And SK Hynix makes only semiconductors. And semiconductors, what they are, they're very important because they are the brain of AI, the brain of AI. Do you know what AI is? Have you heard of ChatGPT?
is.
Right. So ChatGPT is an AI and also needs these semiconductors to think and to give you answers when you ask questions. So the article says market analysts say the rally may not be a short-term event. They expect semiconductor prices to stay strong in the first half, driven by AI data center investment. So AI is becoming very popular now. And companies need to build huge AI data centers like this, shown in the image here, to store information and to teach AI to think. So this is a data center built in the United States, and this is what a data center would look like on the inside. And to build these data centers, they need millions of semiconductors like these from Samsung and SK Hynix. And so when many companies want to buy them, this is called high demand. And demand means how many people want it. If there are many people wanting one specific thing, you say there's a high demand for that thing. But there's only few companies in the world that can make these special AI semiconductors, and Samsung and SK Hynix are two of the very few. So supply is very small. And supply means how much is available. So if you think about it, if 100 people want to buy pizza and there's only one pizza, what happens to the price of the pizza? Do you
But we
think that
can just slice the pizza to 100
can?
pieces.
It's very smart, you can, but the slice will be very, very small. But so if someone says, so let's say the price of pizza is 1,000 won, but someone who wants to have the big pizza to himself says, "Oh, I'll pay 5,000 won. Give me that pizza." But some other person can say, "Oh, never, I can pay you 8,000 won." And then someone else can say, "I'll pay you 10,000 won." So the price can get higher and higher. So if there's
100.
so if there's a lot of demand and very little supply, the price of that product can get very, very high. And that is why Samsung and SK Hynix are making a lot of money right now. And if Samsung and SK Hynix makes a lot of money, would you want to buy their stocks? Would you want to buy their 주식?
No,
No. Maybe you do want to buy their 주식.
I will
So
not buy it.
we'll think about it again. So if company makes a lot of money and it's doing very, very well, then you think the price of you expect the price of stocks to go up. So maybe you want to buy the stock now and get on to that the price increase to make so that you can also make money. So if more people want to buy their stocks, the stock price goes up or down. If many people want to buy Samsung stocks, Samsung 주식, would Samsung stock price go up or down? It'll go up. That's right. It'll go up. Good. So then, well, now we'll have to see if what the article says. Let's see if the article says the price will keep going up. It says, however, some warn that volatility could increase if global big tech slows AI spending or if the pace of semiconductor price gains eases. So volatility is like a roller coaster. Roller coaster. Do you know what roller coaster is? So this is a roller coaster. It goes up and down, right? Yes, yes. And one day the price goes up. Let's see. One day the price can go up high, and the next day the price can fall really fast. It moves up and down, so it's scary, and it's really hard to guess the next move. So if companies suddenly stop building AI data centers, then the demand for semiconductors can go down, it can fall. And if the demand falls, if nobody wants to buy semiconductors again, then what happens to the price? The price can also go down because, right, because nobody wants to buy it. Then if the price goes down, then the companies stop making money. They don't make money anymore. So the price then go down too. So that moving up and down like a roller coaster, it's called volatility. So now that we read the whole article, What do you think about the article? Was it easy, hard? It's okay. Boo, it's
Medium.
hard. Medium. Okay, that's good. That's good. Medium is good. So we're gonna check out some of the vocabulary now. Kospi index. It says, read after me. Korea's representative composite stock index. It's Korea's representative.
Koreans represented composite stock index.
Right. Korea's representative composite stock index. Right. So KOSPI is an index, which is basically a scoreboard for a whole group, as we've seen before. Now, let's go back to the soccer team example. And let's say Son Heung-min scores 10 goals and Lee Kang-in scores goals, and Cho Hyun-woo, the goalkeeper, makes 7 super saves. And if we add all these points together to make one big number, that number is Team Korea's score. So if some other player doesn't feel very well that day and doesn't play really well that day, it's okay because if the others do well, if Son Heung-min does really, really well, then the team score would also look good thanks to Son Heung-min and other players who did well. So this team score is what we call an index. And KOSPI is like the Team Korea score for companies that are in Team KOSPI, like Samsung, SK Hynix, Hyundai, and Kakao. And we count how much money they're worth. We count their market cap and make one big number. And if you see here, it says major global indices. So indices is plural for index. One team KOSPI is an index, but there's several many different teams in the world that are just like KOSPI. So if you see here, in the US, there's S&P 500, and in Japan, there's Nikkei index, and in EU, there's Euro Stoxx index, and in Hong Kong, there's Hang Seng index. So there are many, many different indexes, but you don't say indexes, you say indices. So that's the difference. Index is one and indices is plural. Here we have first half of the year, the period from January to June within a year. Can you read this? First half of the year,
First half of the year.
the period from January to June within a year. Can you read this too? The period from January to June within a year.
The period from January to June within a year.
Very good job. Good job. So what this means is if you look at the annual calendar here, how many months are there in a year? How many months? There are 12, right? 12. That's right. There are 12 months in a year. Good, that's right. So what's half of 12? What's half of 12? That's 6. That's 6. Now, the first 6 months of the year is called first half of the year. First, from January to June is first half. And from July to December, it's called second half. Now, if you divide the year into four chunks, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Or if you take a half of the half, if you take one half and then flip it again, that becomes a quarter. It's a quarter. So it's called first quarter, and from April to June is second quarter, from July to September is third quarter, and from October to December is fourth quarter. Okay? Now, investment. Repeat after me. Activities that use money or time now for future gains.
Activities that use money or time now for future gains.
Good job, right. So in this article, investment is made on AI data centers by global big tech companies. Now, to build a data center like this, do you think it will take a long time or short time? To make a data center like this, will it take long time or short time? It will take a long time. It's a long time, right? It's a huge complex. It's going to take a long time. And do you think it'll cost a little money or a lot of money?
3,
A
4, 5,
lot.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Right, infinite amount of money, very much a lot of money. But companies are willing to spend the money to build such data centers now so that they can better use the technology in the future. So they're using the money now, money or time now for future gains. So that is investment. They're making an investment. So now we're gonna look at the questions. So show me with your fingers, okay? Mark O if the statement is correct, or X if it is wrong. The Kospi hit a record high on the first trading day of 2026. Let's go back to the article. Kospi hit a record high on the first trading day of 2026. Is it correct or is it wrong? Yes, that's right. Good job. That's right. It's correct. It reached an all-time high and it set a new record. That's right. So it was the highest level since the index was launched in 1983. It was the highest level since the index was launched in 1983. Yes or no? Let's see. You'll know. Let's see. This mark is in the article. It says this. Yes, that's right. That's right. This marks the first record high on the New Year's opening day since the Kospi was launched in 1983. So yes, it's the highest level since it was launched in 1983. That's correct. That's right. Now, SK Hynix shares closed at 128,501 on the first trading day of the year. Is that correct or incorrect? Hmm. SK Hynix, if you look at the article, let's see. SK Hynix gained 3.99% to 670,001, lifting the index. So SK Hynix was 670,001. Now it says SK Hynix shares closed at 128,501. No, right. It's incorrect. You're right. Good job. So now we read this article on the Kospi setting a new record, and we've done the questions. Now, how do you feel? How do you feel about the article, and how do you feel about today's lesson? Any good signs? Anything good? Yeah? Okay, good. I'm glad. Now, we're going to end a little early today. It's supposed to end at 10:50, but I'm going to let you go 5 minutes early. And I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Okay. Um,
선생님, 까볼 거야? 어?
응.
나가세요, 선생님. 선생님 고생하셨어요.
네, 아닙니다. 이거 좀 일찍
화났어.
주세요.
알았어. 선생님 잘했어. 근데 대답도 잘하고. 알았어.
너 근데 나한테 나한테 그거 있잖아.
잠깐만, 엄마 선생님 잠깐 얘기해. 선생님 잘하는 거 봤어? 고생하셨어요.
귀여워요.
짜자, 쏘 가지고 나가세요. 안녕. 잠깐 저기